So why did your family decide to join with Back Bay Church for this new work in the Iberville area?
I think we started off by just, I probably was a little skeptical at the beginning of, is this something that we need to do as a church? But I really feel like that as time went on and I learned more about it and I started understanding what we were trying to accomplish, and working in the Biloxi area for the last 19 years, I really feel like there's a need for us to have an outreach in that area of D'Iberville, Biloxi. And I really just thought that it's something that I felt God was leading me. I mean, after talking to several people like Justin and Adam, and just felt like that the Lord was leading me to do that. And I had prayed a lot about it, trying to determine whether it was the right thing for Jill and I to do. But
yeah, and I was equally as skeptical. But when I got the, I guess, calling or the piece about doing something like this, I never looked back. I never had a moment of not wanting to do it or not, questioning whether we should or not. It was kind of a done deal when I understood that I was actually being called to do this. So I've had a peace about it ever since. And there's a lot that I'm going to miss at Bellevue. This is we're just moving forward with what we feel like we're being called to do.
Yeah, so you mentioned obviously your affection for Bayview Baptist. You've had just years of dedicated service. Your girls grew up in the church. So I think this is such a good conversation that we can have because of your affection for the church. You see this as a positive partnership, like a worthwhile partnership for Bayview to support Back Bay?
Absolutely, yeah. We can't do it any other way, I don't think. And it's not only our church that'll be helping, it's multiple churches in the area, and we need that support from other people. And we should all be looking to disciple other people as well. And so this just kind of gives us a stepping stone in that direction.
yeah, and I think too, when you look at the demographic of people here in this area, there's a lot of people that are just kind of going to work, and they don't really have a lot of hope. And I think that you've got to meet people where their needs are. And I think that's one of the things that Back Bay will do, is meet people where they are, and we're not real sure what that's going to look like. But I think when you start somewhere and you're kind of out there in the street a little bit, it makes a big difference in talking to people and just trying to understand what their problems are, because they all come from a different background of what they believe about God. I think anytime you do something that's out of the box, and I think one of the biggest things that in my walk and in trying to make this decision on, sometimes you got to expect big things out of God, and you got to see Him work to grow your faith more. And I think that's where I am. I mean, sometimes we have that status quo, and we just don't step out in faith enough because we pray and we say we want you to work, God, and then we don't, step when God says step. So we just kind of do our own thing, and I think that's one of the challenges in all this is, for me, is to look for God working in whatever it is every day that we embark on this endeavor. Is that seeing God change people's lives, and as that happens, you just start seeing more and more people come to Christ. I mean, I think it reassures your faith as well. So I think that's what's important as you grow. When I was teaching in the youth at Bellevue, and we had a pretty big youth department, and Justin Daniels was part of that, and we went to Maryland together, and Margaret and all of us and Jill, we went with Clinton, and we went up there, and we actually went to work at a church plant, and we ended up doing a bunch of fun stuff, but we also had canvassed the neighborhoods, and we also did a sports camp for them to kind of get some names and contacts so that they could get people to start. in September and start the church. And we had our praise band come down and all that, and it was a really pretty positive thing. I mean, like, it was amazing to see the neighborhood just come out to this elementary school where they were going to start the church, and we had all kinds of activities and stuff for people to do. But you don't know. I mean, that church, they had a church just like Bellevue that was sponsoring them and trying to make this happen, and they were probably about 40 minutes away from this area that they were trying to reach. So that's kind of where, as far as church planning, I mean, I think that's some of the things that Justin, myself, and Jill, I mean, those are things we've been doing. Then we spent time going up to Forest and different Arkansas. So I think our church has been involved with those things through the years, but some people don't take notice to it, but I think it's important.
Well, we focused a lot on, reminding people to be praying for Adam and to be praying for Justin. We're going to continue to do that. But what are some of the ways that Bayview Baptist can pray for the High family and other families that will come alongside and join with this effort?
Well, I've always asked for specific prayer for our transition into this and the things that we'll miss at Bayview, and because it will be very different. And anybody who I think goes onto a mission field, I guess, or changes their location for what ministry they're doing, it's hard to leave what you love and what you know, and so our transition into that and our commitment to continue forward and not feel like we have to, be scared of the challenge, I guess. And then also what keeps burdening me is the financial aspect of Back Bay, and we prayed specifically for that. We have a lot of resources already, but they are going to continue to increase. And just like Bayview has financial needs, that's a big burden always on my heart. And then I also ask for prayer for the list that I've created of people who I specifically would like to minister to through Back Bay, and those are my requests.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, ministering to people that we've already kind of been ministering to, but they live in Ocean Springs or they live in other places. And I think that's what part of this is about too, is just kind of spreading out and trying to create a family of people that want to work together and share their life together as well, all age groups, single, married with kids, and, people like us who are getting older, so, that don't have kids at home. But for us as a family, I think you just pray for Avery and her transition. She's decided to go to Atlanta and go to Emory Hospital, and that's an exciting time for her. And Kendall's doing well at school at USM, and just pray that they continue to be obedient and follow what God wants them to do.